Hey everybody, this is day 7 of 50 Days of Authenticity. And the most authentic thing that I can say to start is that I feel somewhat shit at the moment. This is the first day where I'm not, maybe except for the first one, where I'm not recording in the morning after meditating and sort of getting all uplifted by the start of the day. We are approaching 3 o'clock here in London, and I'm just sort of that, whatever that sound was. So let's still sit for a couple minutes, and then we'll go from there. Okay. All right. Well, the sorry, I feel like it's hard to even get going, which is good, because honestly, authentically, I feel in recording this, there's like a split. I've been really feeling into my split inside. The split of persona and self, capital S self, for the psychology nerds out there and the Jung fans. Or maybe it's just that split, to put it simply, between an authentic self and the face you put on to the world, let's say, to use less psychological language. And obviously there's a face here going out to the world, and I'm very much in a process of transforming this face into what feels authentic. It was interesting feedback. I saw a friend I hadn't seen in many years a few days ago. I might have mentioned it in the video the next day, my friend Marcelo, and he remarked, "Man, I thought you'd be so different, just how you are, you look, everything." He's like, "I got used to your long hair." And I felt, yeah, I also thought I would be more different. Like I feel so different inside, and yet I think what happens on the outside is still very much the same old human Jamie. So hence being in the process of transformation. And that is the theme of today's video. I feel lighter just even saying it. Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel good when you're in it, but knowing what's on the other side makes it all worth it. And I want to share something that has been really supportive for the last few weeks and very much helped me to see this today. So that is this. This is the Osho Zen Tarot. Speaking of transformation, it's the transcendent game of Zen. And these cards were at Osho Lila, where I was for 3 weeks. And a lot of people, myself included, would go pick a card each day. And it wasn't like it's like super mind-blowing, changed my life like crazy, and incredible things happened because of the cards. It was more like, wow, it really helped clarify things, or it touched something, or it made me laugh, or just really enjoy having fun with just, you pick up the card and like, oh wow, that's it, or no, that's totally not it, or you could say it's magic, you could say it's not magic. From a not magical perspective, it's just hitting different parts of the brain, and then you're getting different information to play with, images. In this case, it has words, which I really like, and I'll show you the card in a moment. So this morning, I really needed to pick a card and to see what we'll get. So I'll take you through my process. So I was just going to pick a card. What's the card for today? So I picked the card, and the card I got was comparison. And I was like, okay, and it was talking, there's descriptions, which I'll also show you in a moment. And it was talking about not comparing yourself with others. I'm like, yeah, for sure, definitely. But I was like, I don't know. It doesn't really give me what I need for today. So I was like, let's pick another card. So I pick another card, and I got this card called The Source, which I also picked yesterday. And it was like at the base of another fun thing about tarot that I'm realizing is you can just shape the cards in different ways, and the way you arrange the cards, almost without thinking about it, it goes into this really beautiful, very meaningful, very powerful pattern. So I got Source next, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Just come back to Source. It's like basically what I talked about in the book. It was like, just come back to Source and everything will be all right. I'm like, okay, great. So then I was like, well, I saw the pattern, because I saw this pattern actually not when I was reading, but when I did my first reading for someone else a few days ago. It just happened very organically that he had like one card here, and actually 3 cards in the middle, and the 2 cards on the sides were sort of polar opposites. And there's this really beautiful, what do you call it? Like a spectrum. Or no, spectrum, just polar lines that he drew, where it was like there's a centering, things in the center to keep in mind, and sort of you could see sort of bad angel, good angel, let's say, on either side. So I felt, well, okay, I got Source, which very much feels at the middle, is also in the middle of what I chose yesterday. So let's pick one more card to go on the other side. And guess which card that I picked? I picked this guy. Transformation. There it is. Take a look. It's a very, very, very powerful image. Super, super, super powerful. And I can also link to the page where it has the text, and you can take more time with this image if you'd like. And so I was like, I picked transformation a number of times these last few weeks. It's like, okay. And there's, I don't know, maybe 80 cards or so in this deck, 70 something. And there's some cards I picked many, many times, and some cards that I've never picked at all. And that's part of the, if you want to say there's magic, again, you'd say, oh, not magical, you'll pick some more than others. But if you picked a billion times, it would all even out. But it's not the point. The point is like what's happening in the here and the now. And if something hits you, it hits you, period. That's how I see it. And so it's like, okay, universe, I get the message. We're on full on transformation at the moment. And so I was like, okay, let's read the commentary and see if there's anything that I need for today. So let me read for you what it says in the commentary. Here's what it looks like, by the way. There's a page of commentary here, and then there's another page of, I don't know what this is called, but the, I guess, more standard text. So it really, what was in the commentary, and one sentence in particular hit me. It says here, the central figure in this card sits atop the vast flower of the void and holds the symbols of transformation. Again, I'll hold it up so you can see as I read. You can see. All right, the symbols of transformation. You have the sword that cuts through illusion, the snake that rejuvenates itself by shedding its skin, the broken chain of limitations, and the yin-yang symbol of transcending duality. One of its hands rests on its lap, open and receptive. The other reaches down to touch the mouth of a sleeping face, symbolizing the silence that comes when we are at rest. All right, now we get into the real part. I'm going to put the card down. Now we get to the real juicy part, which hit me like a freight train. This is a time for a deep let go. Allow any pain, sorrow, or difficulty just to be there, accepting its, quote, facticity. I've never heard that word before. Accepting its facticity, period. It is very much like the experience of Gautam Buddha. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Probably not. Of Gautam Buddha when, after years of seeking, he finally gave up knowing there was nothing more that he could do. That very night, he became enlightened. Transformation comes, like death, in its own time. And, like death, it takes you from one dimension into another. So, folks, that's what it says. That's what it says here. And as I read it again, essentially, it's those three sentences after I put down the card that really hit me. I'm going to read it one more time. This is a time for a deep let go. Allow any pain, sorrow, or difficulty just to be there, accepting its, quote, facticity. It is very much like the experience of Gautam Buddha when, after years of seeking, he finally gave up knowing there was nothing more he could do. Yeah, so after years of seeking, whether the seeking unconsciously started by, I guess most tangibly, going to China, which was almost exactly 10 years ago that I first left to live in China in 2012, or whether it was in 2016 when I was living in New York City and spending many afternoons on a couch, unable to move, completely depressed, and searching for what the hell is going on. And then starting all the personal development programs, the meditation, the therapy, the landmark, the yoga, the this, the that, blah, 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 blah. And of course, later on, the plant medicine and the this and the that. Or most recently, these sets of travel where I've been truly traveling as much as possible, moment to moment, day by day, one foot in front of the next, not knowing where I'm going to be. And most recently here in London, where I'm now in the 4th place I've been in 1 week. It's time to stop the seeking. It's really time to stop the seeking and to allow all the feelings. That's it. Bottom line, that's it. So, like I shared yesterday in guidance, the guidance feels very much aimed at where, who, when, how can I just be? Can I just stop seeking? Find that safety. And as it said, like death, it happens in its own time. So it's not my time. It's God's time. So I can't control it, but somehow talking about it and putting it out in the universe seems to help. It seems to help, and I appreciate the support of lovely people like yourself who have been watching this. And if you're still watching 16 minutes and 38 seconds into this, then I obviously something is hitting you, something is there in you. Maybe not, obviously, maybe that's not true. Maybe you skipped ahead and this is where you got, I don't know, but just thank you for watching this. I have to say, an authentic thought coming up is, I'm thinking about I think it was the guy who, oh man, this is like a scary thought to share, but I'm just going to share it. The guy who murdered many people I think it was on the New York City subway, like whenever that was, half year ago, and he was recording long videos. I was thinking, not so dissimilar to this, which is scary, but I guess maybe he was also in a time of transformation, but maybe instead of the death happening inward, the death was projected outward, which is a very deep concept, which really resonates with my worldview, Jungian psychology, and yeah. So, yeah, it's a lot. Thank you. I do feel very grateful for the opportunity to just speak. And the internet does give this kind of chance in a weird way, which brings up another feeling that I've had that I've wanted to just say out loud, which is I now spend so much time touching my computer and my phone, and especially after leaving Leela, and very little time touching anything alive, a plant, an animal, a human. And it's very, I know I'm not alone. It's just very emblematic of the digital age, and I carry with that the hope of how to reconcile our advances in technology and acknowledging what it does give us, what it gives me, and also acknowledging what it lacks as well for me. And I know I'm not alone with others. Oh, man. Oh, one more thing I'll share. At Tamara, this intentional community in Portugal, they have an amazing, amazing stone circle, which I miss very much. And I'd go there every morning. And the rock that I felt, the stone, really big stone, almost the size of me, that I felt drawn to, I had no idea what it symbolized, what it was there for. I just felt drawn to it. And when we finally had a tour of the stone circle, I asked our guide, I just felt called is there any story that you feel called to share with us? Like, is there just anything that I know, I just really wanted to let something come up in the spirit of authenticity. And she said, well, honestly, as you were asking this question, what I felt called to share was tell you about this stone over here, which was the stone that I kept going to. And she said, this is the stone that symbolizes transformation. And I couldn't believe it. It was so epic. You couldn't have made that up if you tried, kind of thing. It was awesome. Oh man, so that's that. Get this posted and see what happens, universe. Thank you. Blessings.